back on your couch with their dicks out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was listening to this thing today that was talking about how humans, like even dolphins, they follow their genetic past of what their ancestors do before, and we're the only ones that can learn to not only learn from the past, but use the past and present to do something in the future that has never been done before.
There's dolphins and humans only?
No, dolphins can't. It's only humans. And I just brought up dolphins because we were talking about consciousness last time.
Yeah.
And what's conscious and what's not.
And how dolphins could also be at an equal level as us
Mm-hmm.
and all that. But so we can use like our genetic memory, you're saying,
On top of new things that we've learned.
to create newer things.
Mm-hmm. Things that have never happened before, basically.
That's true, but isn't that kind of evolution?
That's true.
So like, doesn't everything have that then?
I don't know.
Take your pick. Here, take one.
I mean, it's more an adaptation, isn't it? But what is evolution? Is evolution just your ability
Adapting
to adapt?
over generations.
I never looked up the definition of it.
That's probably like a loose definition. I'm sure you could rearrange words and get what you want. Like eventually, you keep rearranging them. But I don't know.
You think we're the only species that can do that?
I think we're like the best species at manipulating our environment. I don't think we're the only species that can evolve. I think that's where my discrepancy lies in that.
Do you think we get to a point like before manipulating metal seemed impossible without the right machinery and stuff? You think we get to a point where we can manipulate the elements like water, fire, earth, and air?
I hope so.
I mean, sails are kind of manipulating air already. As our water beds and shit like that.
And those are like an ancient technology too. Maybe they had those. Maybe that was their technology instead of machines.
And they just
It's just like
manipulate
pure
the elements.
manipulation instead of like we got to build something to manipulate.
Yeah, you're right, because we have to build machinery to manipulate.
We made a middleman. They didn't have one. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Oof.
Diving right into it.
Yeah. It's a good thing I had.
So, you think that we're the best species at adapting then? Or you think any species can become as adaptable as we are?
I don't know. We're adapting, but we're like intelligently doing it. I don't know. Everything is measured on our scale, so it's hard to like. I'm trying to get a different perspective, but we're only humans. We don't have like a different species perspective. We wouldn't know that, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, now that you said that, I don't think anything.
It's hard to like come to a consensus, right? Like
Yeah.
we'd be like, yeah, but then like
I know everything.
yeah. Like I said, like we're definitely the best at manipulating our environment, but like.
Do you think that dolphins and stuff learn from other animals like we do? Like we can learn from humans, yes, but we can also learn from, say, a squirrel and then manipulate. Like we watch the way they crack a nut, and we make a machine to crack nuts.
Yeah. Your mouth's a machine to crack nuts.
Hey, let's not talk about what we do on the weekends.
Hey, get a little fruity on the podcast. Fuck. I feel like the podcast is just me pondering, but
Hey man, it's part of talking.
because the dolphin has a different level of consciousness that we don't have. Maybe like, I mean, they could have learned, but also like, they're around dolphins.
You're right.
How did? I don't know. Like dolphins use pufferfishes to get high. Where did they learn that from? Was one just like trying to eat a pufferfish and it got high, or did they like watch something?
And then it just got stored in their genetic memory.
Yeah, that's so weird that we have a genetic memory, but we can't remember. Like it's built into the DNA. The DNA remembers what has happened in my life and then everybody else on my generation's lives. And I can't recall specifics, but I can recall like fears and emotions from them.
And that's the simplest form, because I just heard today also that Socrates believed that our soul knows everything right before the time of birth, and then as soon as we're born, we've forgotten everything and we have to learn it again through the life.
Motherfucker. Why would that be a feature?
I don't know.
Fucking update that shit. Take that out.
Oh, you're watching
This is the new one, yeah. Pretty good. He has this moment where he figures out podcasts. He shows that, like, he was on the Opie and Anthony show. And he's like, yeah, we were doing live streams at, like, on this weird website, and it wasn't really working, but Opie and Anthony had done this thing, and he had a bunch of dope shit, like he's talking about him doing karaoke in his basement while holding an AK or something like that.
What the hell?
Yeah. And he was like, he's on the Opie and Anthony show, and he, like, puts it all together, like, what he has to do. And he's like, well, you shouldn't do that. You should just cut them out, because they're basically the ads, because they get paid by the ads. But if you don't have them, then he's like, that was the moment I figured it out. And Coffee's just sitting there like, wow. So you called it. He's like,
oh, you're talking about Joe?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying that he figured out podcasts.
Yeah, like Joe's moment of figuring it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's just talking about his normal, like, scams and stuff. But
what is the opening Anthony though?
that was like, you know, the Howard Stern show. That was like the other version. Yeah, it's like the other side of the coin.
Is it still a clean version, or?
Fuck no, I don't think it ever was.
So it's more like Howard Stern,
Yeah.
where he can just say whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, but they were always beefing, those two shows. They're like the biggest radio shows. And then Opie has done like these short type of things where it's just having a conversation without like a time constraint, no ad, like pressure of any sort and shit like that.
You ever watch the Howard Stern show?
Yeah, I used to. Well, I never watched it.
Oh,
I used
you
to
listened?
listen. I used to listen. Well, you could have watched it, but my dad used to listen to it in the car all the time, so I heard a lot of it.
My dad did the same. As a kid, you're like, what the hell?
Dang, these guys are really mean.
These are bullies.
And whenever Beetlejuice would come on,
Oh
my
my
dad would be
God.
like, listen to this.
I love him. Like, 2 plus 2.
Carrot.
I wonder if he was genuinely like that
I think
disabled, or he just wanted to be funny.
I think he's for sure physically disabled, probably a little mentally disabled, but it's also a character. Because there's no way.
I mean, I can't.
He can't
imagine.
operate in society if that's
No.
how his brain works. No, it's a character for sure.
Isn't he rich or something?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a lot of money?
Yeah, probably.
He's got to be some kind of smart to be
Yeah.
able to manage his money and get that kind of wealth.
That's true. He probably hires people for all of it.
Because he sits there and he thinks about what his answer. Let me see here.
47?
4 plus 4. Orange.
That's a carrot? No, that's 47.
That's funny. You ever think about raising kids?
I mean, I've thought about it, but I don't want to.
You don't want kids?
Not
Ever?
right now, dude. I couldn't
Oh,
support a
I'm not
family.
talking about right now. I'm just talking about one day down the line.
Yeah. I'd have a kid or two.
Biological, or would you adopt like you were?
I'd be willing to adopt one, but I would.
I guess
think
you weren't
might
really
also-
adopted.
I think I might also want to, like, have my own biological kid. I'd be open to adopting for sure.
Just to be a dad like your real dad wasn't?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't want to hold myself to, like, any sort of status compared to him, though. 'Cause he hasn't, like, earned that. So.
Yeah, he's not really a dad. He's just the
No,
person
he was
that
just
gave
like
you life.
sperm donor, basically, at this point.
I asked that question because I was thinking about, what do you think? Obviously, it's a complex question, but how do you raise the perfect child? Like, obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but how do you raise it to where it's...
Is the perfect child protected or not protected? Because, like, people with conflict in their childhood become, like, the best people. But people that are raised helicopter parent, like, didn't do anything risky or anything fun when they were growing up, are, like, the sheltered kids that are, like, staying in mom's basement for the rest of their life playing video games type shit.
Mm-hmm. That's like the...
So, like, you could raise the perfect kid, but are they going to be motivated? Are they going to have work ethic? Are they going to be dedicated?
See, that's what I'm wondering. How do you bring that out? Like, obviously, they'll get that from the environment. If you have a bad environment, you have to get your way out of it. But if, like, you're like Joe's kids, you think the reason he's making them do hard things and stuff is because he's trying to facilitate that in a positive manner?
Yeah, I would say... Yeah, I would say real healthy environment, perfect kid, right? Real healthy environment, 2-parent house. Trying to think if he should have a brother or not. I feel like an older brother could help, because then that also, like, if he has faults, the parents already have raised that one, and then they can make you a better one, hopefully, you know. So maybe an older brother. I would say, like, yeah, healthy house, but like immovable boundaries. Like, you did this is the punishment, and that's going to be the punishment every time if you do this. And there's no like flex in between, like very little flex. So the kid knows what the set boundaries are, and they're never like, I could probably get away with this or something. Trust. If they're lying to you, you gotta like explain that that's bad. Shit like that, honesty, you know.
I heard that kids like push back. The reason kids are so naughty sometimes is because they try to see what they can get away with, and that's why they do it in every single environment they're in. Like, you throw them in school, and they're gonna test their waters there and stuff.
Set boundaries, yeah. It's like immovable boundaries. What was I saying on the last one?
Trust,
yeah. But then you also can't, like, you gotta let them go outside and play. You can't, like, oh, who's your friend? Let me call their mom. Okay, I'll drop you off. I'll be there and, like, whatever. You gotta let them, like, experience the world, because if they don't experience it, they're not gonna be ready for it.
They have to have some kind of level of independence.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that every other animal, when they give birth, it's, like, completely less than a year they have to raise the child. The human is the only animal where it's an 18-year process to raise the child.
It is pretty insane.
Which is crazy when you put it into perspective, but how this world works, it does make sense. But when you put it into like a biological perspective, you're like, what?
Well, I think the reason for that is because our brains are so big, it takes like that long to develop, and it can't just come out of the womb like most animals do. But even like little kids in the jungle and stuff, they like, I've heard of stories of them, like journalists and stuff going to the Amazon and stuff, and like tribal children will show the jungle like it's their room. You know, kids be like, oh, look, like I got this toy and shit. They'll pick up snakes and shit.
You know, in a lot of tribes, the kid doesn't touch the ground for like the first 6 months of their lives. They're getting carried.
I heard that.
Yeah, and then also like that builds like not unconditional love feeling. Like, I'm loved by my tribe, because no way the mom is holding it straight for 6 months, you know. Unconditional love, and then it also, like, they could get the layout of everywhere without actually having to, like, go and explore it. They can already be, like, pre-warned for, like, cautions and shit.
Which begs another question: how many people do you think it takes to raise a child? Because it used to be like 50 people.
A perfect child, or like a troubled child?
Minimally developed child,
like an
that is not
average person.
Yeah,
I'd say 3 or 4 people.
like the parents, grandparents.
Yeah, I'd say mom and dad. But if they're separated, like the mom separated and the dad's not in the picture, then it would have to be like mom, grandma, mom's sister, and then someone else, like a teacher or babysitter or something. And if dad's separated, it's basically the flip side, like grandpa, grandma. I mean, I would assume you would have both sets of grandparents, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, like right when you're born as a kid, you would probably still have both sets.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think? So, like, I guess we can't really speak on the female aspect of things because we're not a fucking woman, but how do you think you teach your boy to respect women and work, like, channel his aggression into drive and do stuff like that?
I'd say try not, like, don't be creepy. And that's like hard to do because a lot of guys don't know what creepy is. Kind of have to figure it out. But I'd also say just like be confident, you know, ask him. Like, if you want to go out with them, you might as well ask him.
Will you touch it?
Yeah, that's the opening line. When they say no, then you go for the lesser option. But
will you touch my butt?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't give up all the trade secrets. I worked hard for the trade secrets. I'm not gonna spill the beans. Yeah.
There's an aspect of the feminine I heard, like the overbearing mother, that like basically it's like they take care of everything. Like you were saying, they live in their parents' basement because their parents never tell them to get out and shit.
Yeah.
But like the mom is like basically she takes care of everything the kid needs. In return, the kid never leaves her, so she always has somebody.
Jeez, and that's probably some people's picture of a perfect child too, which is, I don't know, growing up how I did, I knew like a kid that was like that, and I could never understand it. I was always like he would cuss out his mom, like tell her to shut up and stuff like that as a kid. I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and they never understood it. Like they were like, what? She's being a bitch, dude. Like that's not that's mom. It doesn't matter. You know?
Oh yeah, you had a good mom, so
I had a good.
You couldn't even
parents,
fathom why you would talk to your mom like that.
Yeah, and my dad, is way better than like he's probably the one that set the more strict boundaries and like kept to it the best, which like I didn't like him for into my like early teenage years, and then in my later teenage years I realized he's probably right about most of the shit. He knows what he's talking about. He was me at one point.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why you need to. I'm not gonna be against like gay marriage and whatever the hell they want to do, transgender, but in my opinion, you need two parents, male and female. One as the disciplinarian, which is most likely the male, but sometimes the female, and then you need one that's loving and nurturing.
You need like two relatable perspectives, but on completely different sides to give you the answers. But I also feel like every person is an individual, so like their perspective is probably pretty different than another dude's perspective, or if it was a girl, like another girl's perspective, or a transgender, like whatever. I mean, they probably got a weird perspective, like very different perspective. I can't imagine, because their whole, like the basis of who they are is a different perspective than it used to be. So I wonder how that would work.
See, I don't have a problem with two men raising a kid or two females or
no,
transgender.
I wasn't trying to say that.
Yeah, I know that's not what you're saying. I'm just saying what I do have a problem with is like if you're a surrogate for two men, or I mean women, it's kind of different because you just need a man. But two men, I feel like they need a woman in their life at least, maybe grandma or somebody.
Like a good mom figure, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like. Yeah.
But like I seen a transgender video of the woman had switched to a man and the man had switched to a woman, and the man who was trying to be a woman was trying to breastfeed the kid, and the kid was not getting enough milk, obviously, because it's a dude. Yeah.
Can't you buy formula?
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that where formula comes in?
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's what I worry about.
How did the kid happen? Was that a surrogate or something?
Well, I think they still had their original parts.
Oh, okay, so they're smart about it.
Yeah, but the thing is, they both switched. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, does it have to be? I'm not a fucking woman, so this is hard for me to understand. But does it have to be like breast milk at a certain age before formula or something?
No, my sister.
Formula?
Yeah, my sister raised all three of my nieces off formula. But the thing is, there's been studies and
That's
shit.
why they're retarded.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson used to put carcinogens in their baby formula.
Lead. There's been a lot of shit found in baby formula, and on top of that, by the sounds of it, from the podcasts I've listened to, and then my other sister breastfed. My sister's having her son right now, actually, and she's about to breastfeed him. By the sounds of it, breast milk is like a miracle fucking liquid. Like you can, if your eyes are infected or you got an ear infection, you can put the shit in your ears and eyes and it'll heal it. You put it on cuts and shit and it'll heal it.
What?
Because of the shit in it.
Is it
it's
just
weird.
Huh.
It's wild. It's like a magic
crazy.
potion.
I'm gonna invest in some breast milk. Keep it around the house. Take a couple sips. Jerk off with it. Oh, dude. That'd be. Ugh. Fucking A. Make some cheese out of it.
Oh my god.
Is that a thing?
Put it on a sandwich.
Breast milk cheese, dude.
I don't know, but I mean, now that you're saying it,
breast
why
sandwich.
wouldn't
Boob sandwich.
Somebody's
you get a
gotta
chicken
try
breast with breast milk cheese on it. Double boob.
That's a healthy sandwich.
It's a titty sandwich.
That's my favorite kind of sandwich.
It will be a titty sandwich. Those are good, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I'm pretty hungry too.
Understand.
I got a few other ideas on my phone that I wrote down, but phone's a little being used right now.
I think today I just wrote down Cody as a fag and then saved that as the note. So I don't really have anything.
Let's talk about that.
I don't know, man. You keep touching my butthole. It's getting weird.
What do you want to do? How long do you think you want to stay in this apartment in that Bago?
This place probably another, like, until my lease is up. And then Bago, like a year or two, probably more at least. I need to make a resume good for welding.
Mm-hmm.
But this place, I want like a dog or a cat or like an animal of some sort, and this place doesn't allow anything.
Child.
Yeah. Slave.
A black child. You think that you're gonna go to college for welding? Probably not, right?
I can do it. Why do I need to learn how to do it?
Amen. I thought about getting like a truck, like one of those vans,
yeah.
and then you put like a welder in the
You
back.
could probably make good money, but you would need to find people. That's like the issue. Like, you would need to get your name out there so they could call you to come and weld some shit.
But I was thinking more like you just put a mobile welding center in a van, and then you can put your company name on the side, and then just go across the country wherever you want to go.
That's crazy. Yeah, but you would still need to find someone.
That's true.
Or like, not find someone. I guess find someone. You would need to get notoriety.
You'd hope that
Yeah.
people would take pictures of your van or call you or something, but it'd be...
How often do you do that?
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
I don't do that
That's
shit.
true, that's true. Now that you're saying that, you're like, oh, fucking number on there. Fuck you.
Yeah. I noticed the van when it's got a decal on the side, but I'm not memorizing who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I also have like a landlord, though. Like once you own a house and you have to like fix your own shit and stuff like that, you would need to start knowing that stuff.
That's true.
But I guess there's websites where you can just like look up a handyman for any sort of thing.
A handyman? Now that you
Handyman?
Now that you say houses, when I was watching that episode of Trafficked about illegal lumber and illegal, I think it was just illegal. There was something else, maybe.
I'm not to that episode yet.
Yeah, but they were talking about how most of I think it was like over 50% of our wood in America comes from the Amazon jungle.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, in that case, cut it all down. Fuck it.
Well, by the looks of it, once you get to that episode, you'll see it. But by the looks of it, it was mining. They were mining gold, and and they fucking they destroyed probably this bigger than your apartment's worth of fucking Amazon jungle, and they only get probably like 2 grams or some shit of gold. They don't get very much. It's basically like the lottery.
Do they take the trees and then take the gold?
They take everything down. It's insane. And like they take the trees first.
Dude, there's so much like lost human history in there. That's terrible. Like I bet they're finding shit all the time, but they don't say it because then it stops their profit.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
That kind of sucks, dude.
It's like a mafia in there now because you can't. Which I thought about going into the Amazon, and what deterred me before was all the animals and parasites and shit that could kill me. But I've gotten over that, but now I got to get over the fact that there's probably armed people in the fucking Amazon waiting to kill you.
Yeah, we should just bomb them.
Amen.
Destroy the rest of the Amazon.
Nuke.
Drop a nuke in it. Yeah. You like your pretty trees? Fucking spike, bitch.
There's a stolen car episode you'll probably like too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
It's about the Kia boys, or who's it about?
No, just random people stealing cars and selling them. It's crazy. And they'll get mechanics to make key fobs for them so they can just unlock the vehicles and start them without fucking breaking any windows or anything.
Awesome.
It's wild.
Hell yeah. Honestly, if you've got that type of ingenuity, you should take my car.
That's true.
You deserve it more than I do at this point.
That's what they say. See, I think
they always justify that shit with some crazy delusion.
I think most of it's ego because they're like, well, I'm taking from the rich and giving to the poor. Exactly.
Yeah, it's okay. How do you know that guy didn't work as hard as possible? He worked 80-hour weeks for 10 years to get that car. Like, you don't know that.
That's true.
Just because he has a nice car, you know.
It's wild. The ego can make you do a lot of dirty things.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing your ego's ever made you do?
Probably take all that acid and go fucking crazy.
Dude, what was your thought process before? Was it like, oh, I can handle it?
I was like, I need to go farther.
Oh.
Like, I can go farther.
You thought that you could do it without being, because your previous encounters with the drug, you were like, oh,
I got this shit.
I'm fine. I've got a handle on this shit. I'm pretty much a professional now.
Yeah, pretty much. Build myself up too much. Or like small, like kind of escaping the police is kind of like a risky thing. Your ego definitely tells you, but in that case, it kind of kept me like alive and going. You know, had I been caught, type shit.
When was this?
The Milwaukee one.
Ah,
Yeah.
when you had to whip some corners
All the
and
corners,
shit.
yeah. Get out and talk to him.
Allegedly, of course.
Allegedly. No crimes were committed.
In the making of this podcast.
Not even one weed was smoking.
0 weeds.
No weed. Not even one weed.
Do you like balls?
Hella balls. You looking to get into like a hobby of some sort soon, like picking up something?
I want to do jujitsu. I want to learn more about cars because you talk a lot of shit.
Yeah, I just 2 very different levels.
Hey, I'm better than you. You just gotta accept it.
You're right. I'm sorry, Daddy.
I don't know. I want to learn another language as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be beneficial. It is.
Probably. Spanish probably the most beneficial.
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise, like if you're looking at like a world scale, Mandarin is probably the most beneficial based on like the amount of people.
You
that speak it.
goddamn communist.
I'm sorry, they're gonna invade. We're gonna have to communicate.
I've listened to my dad speak his language my whole life, and I can pick up little words and shit. I feel like that'd be easy for me. But writing
You
it and
probably like
shit's
it.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. What is it like
Slovakian.
Czechoslovakian or whatever?
Yeah, but he knows like 7 different languages, and the motherfucker only taught me English.
That's funny. Ask him. Be like, hey, teach me language.
Was your dad around a lot when you were a kid? Or was he always working?
The dad that left.
No, the real one. Or your
The dad I have right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was a good dad. He was around.
He wasn't working all the time?
No, if anybody's working all the time, it's probably my mom.
Mm.
Like,
Did that affect you
she
anyway?
also still wasn't really working all the time. It wasn't dramatic. There's
They-
no measurable difference of how it would have affected me.
Were they already at home like they are now by the time?
No, I got home from school at like 3:30, 4, and then they would get home at like 4:30. So we'd get home about the same time. When I would leave, I'd have to be out waiting by the bus at like 7. It's like an hour bus ride. And then they would leave at like right around that time too. So it was like we were both doing our own thing for that portion of the day.
And then would you do shit together?
Yeah, we'd like go out to eat. I mean, we lived in the woods, so we'd like go out to the trails, ride like go-kart 4-wheelers.
Kill some migrants?
Yeah, stuff like that. Hang them up.
Where's the
Round
road?
Oh, there's one. Got him.
Oh, that's another thing I want to get into. Not killing migrants, but hunting. What kind of hobbies do you want to get into?
I want to learn guitar, electric or acoustic. Probably electric.
That's another one I want to, is learn an instrument.
Yeah. You said hunting though?
Mhm.
Pheasant hunting. I did that with my dad. It was pretty fun. A lot of walking. Good exercise though.
A lot of Milwaukee.
Walking. We didn't do that in Milwaukee. Are you kidding me? We're gonna get robbed by the pheasant we go in Milwaukee hunting for.
Why are they big?
They're like chickens.
They're black.
They're weird chickens, and they won't fly if you drive towards them. Like, you ever seen those big old weird looking birds?
I've seen a couple of them.
Those are pheasants, and they don't fly when you drive at them. But if you're walking, they'll like fly up from the grass. And that's when you shoot them. You just have to walk through fields until you spook them up. But it's probably for like coyotes or something. They have no idea what a car is. It's like us looking at a UFO. We're like, what the fuck was that?
Same
thing was
as what
going
we were
so
talking
fast.
about with deer.
Yeah. Squaring up. But then that goes back to genetic memory, and I would have thought, well, maybe it takes a while to upload some data to that, but
When was the first car made? Like the 20s?
probably like the 1800s.
Oh yeah, you're right. I've looked it up before.
Yeah.
It's
Plus, like
sometime in the 1800s.
horse and buggies are kind of
Mm.
like similar. They make loud noises. They move faster than normal.
But
you would think
you
they would
think
like.
they would run out of the way from a horse more than a car?
No, probably not. 'Cause it's another animal, and they recognize it. They lived in the wild with them.
They're probably like, what the fuck's on their back?
Stupid ass horse working for the humans.
One of my first days driving home from, or maybe it was the first few months driving home from Vago, I seen a pheasant. I didn't even know I knew what a pheasant was, but my brain's like, holy shit, it's a pheasant. I'm like, how the fuck is that in there?
You got some primal hunting instinct in you.
Jump out of my car.
We can go pheasant hunting. If you want, we can go wrangle up them damn migrants and go face them. I tell you what, farmer.
We were talking the other day about how GTA simulates real life in a way.
Yeah, you work for a bunch of money and then end up getting bored because there's nothing else to do.
What do you know it better than I do? You've played it more. What do you think are more ways that it signifies real life?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. It has the stock market in it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think you can do it online, but you can do it in the story mode.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that a new update or has that always been there?
That's always been in it.
Hmm.
I don't know. There's drug dealing in it.
I knew that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't play it like a lot, but I've played it my fair share. And yeah, you basically like you grind and grind and grind to get money to be able to do things and like buy shit, and then you buy the shit and there's nothing else to do. So that's kind of what we're doing, right? We're gonna work for a while so we can buy nice shit and then retire, and then there's nothing else to do.
See, I don't think I'm ever gonna retire because Social Security and shit didn't exist
Yeah,
before.
it's not gonna. We have less working class people than we do retiring people for these next like generations coming.
And I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't.
Yeah, but that also means Social Security collapses. You need more workers and you need retirees to support it.
That's true.
So we're not gonna have it.
Yeah, which I don't worry about because I'm already looking ahead, and I feel like it's gonna collapse here soon because of the way the government takes money out of it and stuff. But I think about if what Joe does. If I was doing something that I love to do, I wouldn't want to retire. I'd just do it till I die.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? The only reason is like strenuous bodily activities that'll like put you at risk and like you fuck yourself up or something. But yeah, I feel like sitting down talking to someone.
Or being
of
a
course you
comedian
can do
or something.
Yeah.
What's your dream job?
Suck mad cocks all day long. So, dream job. Funny how that like changes while you grow up, isn't it? Like, it goes from like something crazy to like a normal like engineer job or something like that.
You know, on a little tangent, but kind of not a tangent. Jordan Peterson was talking about how you already are accepting a community, taking care of a community because you have to take care of the community of yourselves, the past selves you have, and the future selves that you're creating.
That's true. Yeah, you go first. I gotta think about it. What's your dream job?
I'd probably just want to be a CEO of a company like Elon or something. It was probably more than likely ego, but a few years ago I posted on my story, I'm gonna be the Elon Musk of the natural world, which I kind of do want to be.
Little ego, dude.
That's ego for sure. But I want to be that, like the way Elon is with technology. I want to take care of the planet.
To make an
and
impact.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can make billions or even millions, I thought about it. If I made it like an astronomical amount of wealth, then all I would want is like $1 million in my bank account, and then money to keep coming in from whatever I'm doing.
Good.
What's that?
You need power to do good.
That's true. But
like I was saying,
you got to redistribute it so that you don't get hot head. Which I don't know about you, I guess I shouldn't say us, but for me, it's like I've always had a giant ego as a kid. So that's why I like when Joe says.
Pretty quiet.
You think so?
Yeah, I wasn't much different. I guess I was kind of different, but the amount I talk is probably about the same as I did back then.
Your ego.
Yeah, that's like a big factor.
Well, as a kid, I felt like I was the king of the world. I thought that I was the smartest motherfucker on the planet and shit. That's why I like when Joe says he's got douchebag tendencies. I'm like, I definitely have douchebag tendencies, and I need to avoid things that give me confidence.
You got faggy earrings and you're wearing a necklace.
Hey,
I'm just helping you out.
I'm an African. I need to wear my tribal jewelry.
I get it. I think I'd like to be dream job. I'd like to
prostitute.
No, I'd like to be the president of a county of the Habitat for Humanity, because then the dream job meaning I can afford to do that.
You were joking.
So I would have money, and then I could just help people. My dad was the president of the Greene County one.
What is that?
He was only president for 3 weeks. That's you build houses for people that can't afford them.
Yeah.
There's a restore for used furniture and shit.
See, I've thought about that too.
I volunteered for them for 6 years.
That's dope.
I got a red shirt. I was on the board.
That one?
No, it's in there. It's hung up nice, no wrinkles. And then
A little bit of cum.
My dad was the president, so we had to sign the loan for like the new building and pay for it and shit.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it was good. We built a house in New Glarus, where like the brewing company is from, like Spotted Cow and all that.
And is it income-based housing, or is it just free for anybody?
I think it was. No, they did have to pay for it, but it was like very income based. Like we built a whole house for him, like 4-bedroom, 2-car garage. I built the garage, and then like big, like living room downstairs with another like office area, like guest bedroom, and then like big living room upstairs with a big kitchen.
Okay.
And I think it was like he was paying less than I'm probably paying for rent.
That's awesome.
Because he had like 4 daughters, single father with like 4 or 5 daughters.
Well, just as an example, my brother doesn't have a job and he doesn't work. He doesn't really do anything. He doesn't leave the house. But
Jesus.
he told this income-based apartments in Mason that he was homeless, and now he pays $50 a month.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy.
Smart, dude.
But what I thought about was,
If the government's gonna play stupid games, they're gonna win stupid prizes and get beat out by it.
that's true. And fucking raising inflation and shit.
Yeah.
It's
Play
bullshit.
stupid games, win stupid prize.
But I thought about like I wanted to start my own farm at first because I feel like humans are meant to be farmers.
Farmer?
Okay, yeah.
Where you belong.
Because we're supposed to. That is where I belong.
You little
In
plow
the
boy.
goddamn cotton. But like, I've thought about it now, and it'd be really hard to start your own farm. So I just need.
You think humans are meant to be farmers? That's very deeply embedded in what our genetic memory is. Because for a lot of our evolution, we were hunters, gatherers, and farmers.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah, you gotta be your own like nature instinct on that one. Although farming is dope, and a lot of farmers are like really happy people.
They're the happiest I've heard.
Yeah. Well, they're also like some of the saddest.
Mm.
I've met a lot of them.
I bet if you're involved with big agriculture, you're probably depressed
Yeah.
and shit.
Maybe I think big ag makes like most of the money nowadays. So I think if you're not and you're fighting against it, that's what would probably make you sad.
Monsanto
But there's
as
so
well.
many factors. If you're an alcoholic, got bad marriage,
If you work at A&W,
you're slowly losing money and you can't make it for like the next 4 years. Yeah.
You're describing somebody I
You
know.
work a 10-hour job to work at A&W for another 6 hours. That's so fucking wild. That dude's probably touched my burger, dude. Fuck out of here.
But I've thought about it now, and I wanted. My dad did construction at one point too, and I worked a few years with him. And I thought about it. I want to reactivate that business as well. But then I'm like, well, if I want to do all these different things, if I can just get a large sum of money and then buy up a bunch of people's farms, that way they're weaned off big ag, and then they pay them enough to where they can switch to regenerative farming, and then do the same thing with construction
You know how much
businesses.
regenerative farming costs?
Probably an astronomical amount.
It's a crazy amount.
But I feel like the planet needs it.
Yeah, we need it for sure, but it's not like sustainable for a business.
Mm-hmm. That's the
Unless
thing.
you have like the White Oaks pastures, like the only one in the country basically doing regenerative farming on a large scale where they can keep up with demand.
See, the way that's probably what I haven't really thought about it much now that you're saying
Maybe
it.
instead of 3 small farmers, you need to get like a big old ranch.
That's what I'm saying. Buy a bunch of big ranches around the country. And
How much money are you planning on having?
I'm hoping to have a lot, son. But if we can fucking get a bunch of big ranches around the country, and you got to be a little delusional.
Yep, I understand.
But then we can just have them switch, and then if they've already had a client base, why wouldn't their clients keep coming back and then refer their family and
then we could
friends
just hold,
because
like,
it's
a meeting
healthier
or
food.
festival or something to get their name out.
KKK clan membership.
Yeah.
What power?
I love that Dave Chappelle short, dude. Have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle show?
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
I've only seen the first
The
episode.
black white supremacists.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh my god. I don't think that's the first episode. Maybe it is, but it's fucking hilarious.
I don't know.
Divorces his wife at the end.
Mm-hmm.
She was a black lover.
Goddamn nigger lover.
Even though after he found out that he was black.
You'd have to end his life or something.
Oh my god, that shit is so good. Chris Rock's special was good. You should watch it. It's on
I'm gonna have
Netflix.
to watch it. I don't know if it was because of the pills I was on as a kid. I know meth increases your confidence a lot, but I always wanted a lot of money. And
Yeah, our whole society increases that value a lot.
I think the only reason I wanted money was because I thought that's what was important in this world. Now I just want a lot of money because I know it'll help people. That's all I want to do now is just help people, help as many people as they can.
Because you read those stories of people who have everything and are like killing themselves. They're so depressed.
That, or you hear of Jeff Bezos fucking building a giant yacht. He's got to disassemble
moving a
bridge.
fucking bridge for
And then
the
there's
whole
kids
country.
starving still
Fuck
in Africa.
the bridge. I need my yacht, bitch. Fuck the bridge.
Fuck the kids in Africa. Fuck the bridge.
Yeah, they either built that yacht knowing they would have to move, like it wouldn't fit under that bridge, or they built that yacht knowing they would have to disassemble that bridge.
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but somebody like did a joke about it, and they're like, Jeff Bezos probably worried about so many things that somebody just came to him like, yeah, we're gonna have to disassemble this bridge. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Probably.
If you're, that's the thing.
If anybody's on meth, it's that motherfucker. He's taking Adderall like a motherfucker.
Oh, and steroids for sure. You see how big he's getting?
He's yoked. He's probably on test. Well, what is he, like 50 or something?
Mm-hmm.
That's usually when you get on it.
And he was skinny as fuck as a youngin.
Yeah, he was skinny as fuck until like 5 years ago.
Better than fucking Bill Gates eating those goddamn plant-based burgers.
Clearly, fuck it.
But
Bill Gates is 9 months pregnant.
what was I gonna say?
Something about that. Something about the thing with the thing, and then something.
Oh yeah, the condoms.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's no way in hell that if we're such an advanced society now that we cannot supply food and water and shelter at least for the whole world.
Unfortunately, it's probably a business.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if you give those countries that needed something, those countries are probably giving a slave labor or, like, a insane labor of some sort on pennies
Cobalt
to dollars.
and gold mining.
Yeah, like, if they give it to, like, the Dominican Republic of Congo where they're doing the cobalt mining for the batteries, then the Apple phones get more expensive or something.
Mm.
So that's how they skip all those decisions. They're
That's
like, no,
true.
this does this, and we can't do that.
See, but would you rather pay for a more expensive phone you knew was paid or made and paid for by genuine people getting paid a good wage, or would you just keep buying cheap phones?
How about they
it's made by
put the
slave
fucking
labor?
price down? There's no way this shit costs $1,000 for a phone.
No.
There's no way it could possibly cost that much.
Give me a guesstimate on how much profit you think that they're making off that.
I would assume it's at least a 200% markup.
Oh my god.
I
That
would
doesn't
assume it's
surprise
double.
me.
Why wouldn't they
That
double
doesn't
it?
surprise
Why
me.
wouldn't they be like, this is the cost? All right, yeah, make it this.
That's wild. But Peter Schiff was talking
It's
about
business.
exactly. Peter Schiff was talking about how not only could we lower inflation, we could lower it below, because there's this dude, I think it was I don't know his name, but he was like the
Chief pussy doctor at Northern
exactly
University?
of the treasury of our fucking country or some shit.
Yeah, something like that.
And he was talking about how he wants to get inflation down to 2%, and it's going to raise 2% every year. But he's saying that it's leveled out, but it's going to raise 2% every year. And Peter Schiff's like, first of all, if it's leveling out, then it's going to be at 2% flat for the rest of the time. And on top of that, if you can lower it from, I think it's like 8% now or some shit. If you can lower it from 8% to 2%, why wouldn't you keep going so that Americans have
zero fucking percent.
even below that? Because then, imagine if we.
It's getting cheaper and cheaper.
The way,
the gas.
that's what I'm saying. The way I'm explaining it's
The
stupid.
gas station's
Imagine
paying
if
you
we're
to get
paying like
gas.
1950s prices, but we're still getting paid the same amount.
Yeah. Oh, the Federal Reserve is a privately owned company.
That's what I was talking about. The Federal Reserve. What's the dude who runs that shit? McConnell or some shit? Big dick boss boy.
Not a guy that's
27.
Not a guy that's in the government, but it's the fucking Federal Reserve.
Yeah, who the fuck's he getting paid by?
You could probably get into Area 51 easier than you could probably get into the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, he just pulls our money out. He's like, here's some taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, that's insane. Here's war crime dollars. Well, it's all gold.
Oh
It's not
shit! I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
There's one in Manhattan too.
Hmm.
There's a couple gold vaults here in the
Dude.
U.S.
Fucking blow those up, everything will really start going to shit. Or we'll figure that shit the fuck out, and it'll be at a negative percentage of inflation.
That's true. But does it really matter if we blow the gold up? Because our dollar's not backed by gold anymore.
I struggle with the thought that, like, if we change anything, was it always going to change? And was whatever going to happen regardless? We just either sped it up or we just did the process that was already going to happen.
That's true. Because we never know what the hell was going to
Yeah.
happen. Like, what if the
I remember
internet
we almost went to the silver, what is it, gold standard, silver standard. We almost went to the silver standard, like in the early days of America, and it didn't happen. But was it the early days? I don't know. But we almost went to the silver standard. I think farmers wanted it, which makes me think it was probably a better decision because farmers got that shit on. Farmers run this country, but like business people didn't want it. So I don't know.
Well, when we first established the country,
But maybe there's like some critical flaw in it too.
we were on the gold standard, and then I think the reason that we were on that gold standard was because the founding fathers knew that we couldn't manipulate gold because it's always at a certain price. But we took it off. Yeah, we took it off the gold standard so we can manipulate the dollar. And I think the only reason that the dollar is still even considered a currency and valuable right now is because I think China owns like $1 trillion worth of our money. Like other countries own our money.
Like $3 trillion in debt. Yeah,
that's wild.
it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
How much does it cost to buy the world? What the fuck are we adding numbers at this point? Has any of it mattered since we fucked with the gold standard? If we changed that price and we've been manipulating it since then, isn't everything fucked if it was all based off of that?
That's true.
We're all just moving numbers around, acting like anybody knows what the fuck we're doing. I mean, we get a credit score from a company that's $3 trillion in debt.
I didn't know that.
Nobody sees a problem with that. You get rated on like a 0 to 800 or 900 scale on a company that should be at a fucking 0. Company meaning the United States government. They're $3 trillion in debt. Who do you know that's that far in debt? They probably have a better credit score.
If you look at the debt clock, then it says like it's like fucking $40,000 per debt per person per citizen.
Just fly, you know.
It's like, oh, I owe $40,000 in debt. How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if another country were to attack us, all they would really need to do is drop an EMP on us because every other country. Every other country's power lines are under the ground for that purpose exactly. And ours is just jury rigged together.
Yeah, they would never even get close to a land strike. Even the land missiles probably wouldn't hit it.
Even the ones that are like supersonic going to space strike down.
Because we have hypersonic interceptors. There's no way we don't. There's no way we wouldn't know about it already. Like we're probably hacking every email that person that's going to authorize that launch has already said. So the moment they said, hey, launch it, we're going to already know and have that shit going.
That's what they don't tell us.
And our Navy is the biggest, our Air Force is the biggest and the baddest and the best, our Marines, so they'll all be stopping that shit before it even gets close.
That's true.
Yeah, like we threatened Russia with like no, it might not have been Russia. No, it was Russia because he was talking about using nukes or something. And the White House responded, and I don't like the White House right now for obvious reasons. They responded and they were like, we're not going to retaliate with a nuke. We have your emails. We know exactly where you are. We're not going to retaliate with just a nuke. It's going to be a nuke directly at you. You will no longer exist.
I think I heard that.
Yeah.
That's wild. And that makes you wonder what if you were like
we know where Vladimir Putin is.
If you were like a high class citizen and they didn't want you around anymore, they could probably just boom, your apartment's gone.
That's how
or like a little laser beam.
Who's the leader of North Korea?
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, that's how he had his like uncle or cousin or something killed.
Oh yeah.
Put him in a fucking field and like tie him down or something. Shot a fucking missile at him.
I think they missed too.
Yeah, I think it was like off by a couple feet. Can you imagine seeing the missile miss and you're like, ah, boo.
That'd be crazy. Remember when you like said imagine seeing like a mushroom cloud from like a nuke or something?
Oh my god.
That would be wild.
Yeah, I think. You ever played Fallout? Oh, you never played Fallout? What the fuck are you doing? Don't do that shit.
Nicotine pouch works.
In Fallout, like, there's a little guy that does the thumbs up all the time, and it's a game about, like, a world after it's been bombed, but if you can go like this to, like, the base of a nuclear explosion, and your thumb covers up the explosion, you're, like, safe. And if you can't, like, the explosion is bigger than your thumb, when you're looking at it, you're basically dead.
Safe
Whether
for how
you're, like,
long?
dead in a week from radiation poisoning, or if you're, like, the explosion is, like, huge and you're trying to hold your thumb up and you're just like dead immediately when the bomb goes off.
I'm with Joe Rogan on that one. I would not want to survive a fucking nuclear fallout.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Could you imagine?
It'd be kind of gnarly though.
It'd be insane.
Freaky mutant bitches, dude.
No more work. Let's go.
No more overtime. We can pillage.
I can sleep all day.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, but it'd be awful.
Be terrible.
To
Think
survive
about
that?
we couldn't grow any food. We wouldn't be able to hunt any animals.
No.
They'd be
Crazy
all radiated.
psychopaths are finding other nukes and just lighting them off. Fucking sending them.
That'd be
Can you
wild.
imagine surviving the blast just to like get killed like immediately by like a raider or something.
That'd be crazy. That's another thing.
You're like,
you
oh
gotta
my
worry
god,
about
I survived the complete world war destruction, mutual destruction. Pull yourself out and some guy just fucking pistol whips you in the head.
And then you fucking tie
You're
up in the
a coma,
basement
yeah.
or something. That's another thing you gotta worry about. I didn't
You wake
think
up with
about.
no limbs and shit like that.
That's crazy. Because humans go primal real fast.
Yeah, and that's probably like if you survived, it would be mostly primal. There
I'm
would
pretty
be like no discussion about trading or the gold.
Hell no.
There would be
You'd be
be no gold standard.
no fucking negotiation or democracy. It'd all be gone.
You have that. I want that. I'm gonna kill you for it.
I'm pretty sure they have a reserve of seeds.
Yeah, that's in like one of the polls though.
You think there'd be any
And in
there'd be
Greenland.
any use to that if it was all radiated?
The irradiation, fuck. Over time, probably. But it'd also be cool to see what type of plants that should come out of the radiation naturally rather than planting like the old plants back in.
That's true, because it'd probably mutate.
Because life finds a way, so the life would mutate. One way, whether it's a single cell organism.
What are
one way
you
up
eating,
to
Malcolm?
like-
Jurassic Park.
That guy's fine.
Let- You think like if a nuke hit like a silo or something, then another nuke would go off?
It hit another nuke. It was in the missile silo.
Well, yeah, if it just hit close.
Probably because nowadays they use the atom bomb to light off the thermonuclear bomb.
Really?
Yeah, it's like starts the reaction.
So is it like a bomb inside of a bomb?
Yeah, they've got like a starter, like a car's got a starter, and that's like a small atom bomb, and that'll start the reaction to, I don't know, I'm not a nuke expert, but it's either like the hydrogen bomb or the thermonuclear, maybe those are the same thing, but it's one of the bigger bombs in the atom bomb than the OG Fat Man, Little Boy.
I don't believe you. I think you're an expert.
I don't believe you because I'm racist.
You look like a fucking country.
Hey, look here, brother.
Alright. Do we end this thing?
Yeah, you can. Holy shit, how long was that? 52 minutes? What?
You goddamn minute.
Thanks for tuning in, partners.
I was doing this the whole time. I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Alright.
Love you guys. Have a good